Hello and welcome to your twin flame reading for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine and the current union energy going on as we have now entered the season of Libra. And welcome also to a new season, whether that is spring if you're in the southern hemisphere, or fall where I am. And maybe it's about time to treat yourself to a pumpkin spice latte if you haven't already, or make one yourself. I've been wanting to test that out, haven't yet. Anyway, you can also read below. I have a link to my blog post that I did also on the Libra season, which is going to go into depth in like a different way than this reading will, of course, because it's a different medium, like a written situation, and I generally don't share the same exact content in different ways, and usually it's pretty different, and in this case that is definitely true. So check them both out, this reading, that blog post, and bring it all together for a really balanced and harmonious Libra season, which is what Libra is known for, amongst other things, including relationships. So this should be an interesting reading for your union. So let's just go ahead and get started with that. And today I have the Angel Tarot by Doreen Virtue, and then I have the Eternal Crystal Oracle by Jade Sky, and then I have the Rumi Oracle, a Rumi card to tie it all together. I thought that would be really fun and to really ground the energy of well, what's going on for this next month, really. So this reading is for the moment, for midweek, end of the week, but also kind of just to clue you into the overarching energy themes that you're gonna see coming up with Libra season, and perhaps you've already felt a shift. I know I have, especially since it's also, like I said, with the Equinox. And so if you have needed some time for pivoting, I guess, into the new season, resting, self-care, anything, then just take note of that and definitely give that to yourself, and know that you are giving back to yourself. You're not taking from yourself by giving to yourself, right? So a change in routine might be needed, especially since Virgo tendencies. There's going to be a different kind of energy to that sort of routine than there is to Libra. So okay, back to cards. Well, let's flip them over. We're going to start with the Divine Feminine on the left hand side here, and your card is the Eight of Earth. Skilled work is rewarded, learning all there is to know about a topic, going back to school. So this is indicating to me, for the Divine Feminine, just don't be afraid to dive into what it is you feel like learning about. This is interesting for me because I've noticed I've been just putting on some videos a little more passively than I usually do, on my phone while I'm doing something else. And I'm yeah, okay, that's interesting. I'm not always, of course, gonna take everything that I hear from every, master of this or that. But I guess what I'm really referring to is someone who's talking about creating YouTube content and how to do it, for instance. And it's well, how does this apply to me, right? Now, what I do really incorporate into what I do is Jeff and Shalia's teachings, and that's a different story, because that is a different kind of mastery. It's a spiritual mastery that they're sharing, and the ascension process for harmonious union with your twin flame. So I think it's important to differentiate that, but also that other people, of course, have pieces of wisdom to share, and so it's nice to broaden your horizon, and it's nice to add that to what you already got, and how is it taking you deeper. But pay attention to when it's time to stop. I really feel the divine will tell you when it's okay, maybe you didn't finish this book or this, whatever, like you thought you were going to, but you got what you needed out of it. Trust me, you're good. Whether that's just 5 minutes into it or watching the whole thing, or just not bothering to, go back and rewatch if you take a little break from it and it keeps playing. But it's really important to attune yourself to like being intuitive about when and where to direct your attention, because a lot of times you will really get the next piece of what you need from some seemingly random information, right? Not always. Again, like go back and really study Jeff and Shalea's teachings, and there's links below for that. Especially the book, if you haven't gotten the book yet, although a new version's about to come out too. But that's just so foundational. And look, this person, I guess this fairy, is reading a book here. And it does appear more of a perhaps masculine, it looks like a more masculine figure to me. So this also kind of makes me think it's like a little bit of both here too. Like, Libra's also, Libra, the masculine side of the Libra season, there's also a similar energy going on. So yeah, just don't be afraid to school yourself, essentially, and enjoy it. Don't be afraid to enjoy it. I think that's the real underlying message, is that you might be healing in the whole learning process right now, and that you might be actually really enjoying what you're learning, and you're like, should I be spending my time doing this, Well, if it's something that's, again, adding value to like your life purpose, your union, then yes, then definitely do that. And that being said, on the topic of twin flames, like, I really advise being very careful about who you do follow with twin flame stuff. And Jeff and Shalea's students, like myself, and all the Ascension coaches, it's like, this is the teaching of harmonious union. This is not a teaching of separation. So if you want to get some separation in there, just sprinkle it in, like eating some dirt with your sprinkles just for fun, then you want to go somewhere else, that's on you. But I don't recommend it. I really don't, because it's such a dealing with this is a really tender topic, and it's really you're really vulnerable when you go into this stuff. And so even something kind of taking you a little bit off course is not really generally the best thing to do, even if you're just watching it to, just out of morbid curiosity or something. I can't really recommend that. So, yeah, I felt like I needed to speak to that. So we're going to move on to the divine masculine. Number 7, Made in Heaven, the Chariot, Archangel Metatron. So that's funny, Metatron came up in another reading I did earlier with a different card, but this card, it also speaks to the Metatron quality clearly of almost like time travel, like moving through time, beyond time. So an important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, and public recognition. So this reminds me, indicates to me that the divine masculine, what he's mastering right now, is something indeed related to overcoming any kind of time that he's been lagging on something in his life, and maybe even some aspect of his life purpose or union, but actually so to speak, making up for it. So that's with self-discipline, right? So it's just nothing in particular. I'm just saying, don't expect something divine feminine of your divine masculine, right? That's not what this is about. But this is about the divine masculine truly developing that and being hey, yeah, I don't accept this, guilt or blame or whatever it is holding you back as the divine masculine from self-mastery, from self-realization. and moving forward just from where you're at, and really like knowing that that's enough. Like, you don't need to try to go back in time or go back to whatever and hold on to anything or fix anything. And that is, does take mastery to really go there and do that. So that's a good job. A nice like pat on the back indicator for the Divine Masculine. So we've got some achievements over here, some really like learning taking place over here. And for the Union energy, the main crystal card, and this also applies to the chakra system, is Obsidian, and it's protection, the root chakra, number 29. So this has to do with rooting down, and it's a very nice balance to the more like, I don't know if I want to say spacey, but the Libra energy having that real, like kind of air quality to it. And so it's nice to really remember to ground down during this time. And protection does have to do with the justice system, or, beyond just the justice system, justice in general, and fair and balanced behavior. When you really cultivate that in your own reality, you do see it reflected. And you also notice when other people or when something is out of alignment there. And so there's just a natural protection that takes place when you choose to root down into the truth and to uphold and honor the truth. And it doesn't mean that it's not about you being right or your side of the story being right. It's like, what is the spiritual truth of this situation? And being willing to go deeper. And sometimes that actually does even mean being willing to be wrong about the superficial thing, to take yourself or take someone else deeper. Not that I recommend giving anyone wrong information purposefully, but that's like, just for instance, sometimes there's a misunderstanding, let's say, between two people. Like you say, no, like this, give a fact that's incorrect, but you just said it wrong, or you really thought it was true, but it somehow leads to this whole other conversation, right, that wouldn't have happened. And so, it's just, and then like, why would you feel guilty if that was not your intention, right? Like, your intention, of course, should always be to uphold the truth. But in order to get there, you have to explore sometimes. And if the truth hasn't seen a whole lot of light in humanity, then you might have to do even more exploring. And so you are protected in that exploration, that like guided exploration in search of the truth. So if you're searching for the truth, go for it. And it looks like the Divine Masculine's kind of doing that by like some self-realization and self-mastery, and the Divine Feminine is focusing on some things in her outer world to like bring, to kind of bring deeper awareness within, some guidance. So the last card, this Rumi card, is Hand of Fatima, and it's a very interesting illustration. It's like big high five there. And looks kind of like a wave. And this card, it has something to do with you needing to really spend extra care and attention with your physical well-being, and also knowing that you're calling in a greater deal of energy. So even though you may feel like kind of an imbalance there, and this is very much, a theme of Libra is balancing, right? You're actually going into a deeper level of balance, but you do need to like have some awareness here and not be so hard on yourself if you really need to spend more of your energy, of your attention on simply yourself and your own well-being. So let's read a little bit from this card too. And this is the beautiful guidebook. And number 43, I believe, is the one before the last card. Yeah, because there's 44 cards in this deck. So I'm going to read the Rumi poem. It says, I can never leave you, not for a moment, not for an hour. You are in everything I do. You are my everything. My drink is your sweetness. I move to your command. I am a surrendered prey in your hands, and you are my consuming lion. Your soul and my soul are truly one soul. I swear to our one soul, I long for no one but you. In the garden of your grace, I am only a germinating sprout. The crown of my blooming is the desire to be in your arms. Oh, wow. Well, Rumi, you did it again, didn't you? So let's read a little bit of this explanation here. This oracle also comes with guidance. Giving your body rest and healing is the most beneficial at this time. There are symptoms you are experiencing, anything from fuzzy-headedness to tiredness to aches and pains. This is not, by the way, medical disclaimer. If you have any of this stuff, you can please seek medical advice, all right? This is spiritual entertainment, so, and of course, offering you coaching and support in that way, spiritually. But in any case, as well as shifts in body temperatures that seem unbalanced, and these are directly related, if not solely, to the interactions of your spiritual essence with your sacred animal body. These will even out under Fatima's grace and protection, like two housemates learning to live together and enhance each other rather than distract and annoy each other with their quirks and differences. This settling and process will happen all the more easily when you ask Fatima's help. So this oracle also advises that if you ask for help and protection in any matter, it will be granted. There is no exception to this rule. There is nothing you have done that has made you unworthy of divine intervention, grace, and love. Not one thing ever. Ask, trust, and receive. So I think that kind of said it all. I want to make sure it really spoke to that kind of expansive energy of this card. Well, let me read this part too. This oracle brings you the guidance that what is being born in your life right now in your own consciousness as a seed and perhaps of a new way of being, a new idea, belief system, philosophy, or sense of self is going to come to maturity under the loving protection of the Divine Mother. So you're also being asked to heed your intuition and instincts. And it also brings you the message that your body is sacred and worth your attention. So, yeah, I think that really sums it up pretty well. And it really speaks to all of this. It's like over here with the Divine Masculine's message, like in your self-realization, you understand that you are worthy of all the help and all the protection and of feeling good and everything that you actually desire. And the Divine Feminine, is like you're going towards your intuition with what it is that you're choosing to pay attention to and to gain wisdom from. And then, of course, paying attention, to your physical body and everything is important at this time. And so this, again, is really for all of Libra season. So just check in with this and know that it is really taking you more deeply into what it is that you really desire to be, who you desire to be, and how you desire your union to be too. So this is about, you healing into your oneness with your twin flame. So that's really beautiful. That's going to do it for this reading. And like I said, the link below to my blog post will be right there, right below. And then check out my other links as well. Coaching right now is at an excellent rate until the beginning, kind of early October. So if you've been considering a package, I really highly recommend claiming that now. And that's going to do it with my announcements. So yeah. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your Libra season and all of the balance and harmony and deeper levels of union coming your way as you continue to walk the path of your spiritual journey. All right, bye.